Was the sea red?
No.
No. So
False
yeah.
advertising.
But why they call it the Red Sea then? Hello?
I don't know. Do I look like a geologist?
Sorry. Anyway, so no talking about religion. Also, I marked this stream as mature after realizing last time that I should have done that. But this time I for sure should have done that, which I did. So, good for me.
Good for you. Oh, right. There's this, like, Bible story of, like, during when they had to wander the desert for 40 years.
Mhm.
And one of the times they were like, oh, we have no water. Moses asked God for water, and God told Moses to nicely ask a rock for water.
Oh, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, he was like, go to that rock and nicely ask it for water. It will spew out water if you ask it nicely. And Moses was like, fuck you, and then slams his staff into the rock. Water came out, but it was bitter.
Okay. What
Because,
was the lesson there then?
like, you need to follow what God says, or else, like, the outcomes are not gonna be as good as you want it to be. And then, like, and God was like, okay, now be good, do some. I forgot what he told them to do, but there's something, throw a rock into the water becomes sweet. So they got sweet water after throwing another rock into the water.
Are you sure the rocks weren't like sugar rocks?
But yeah, like, nicely asked this rock for water.
Just nicely asked. Okay. Um, well, so Omegaverse, right? Oh wait, no, let me do a introduction. So, hello, it's
Oh, we're
me.
live?
Yes.
Oops. The entire rock thing?
Yeah, the entire rock thing.
Oh no.
It's okay. We've established that way that we're not talking about religion today. Even though the alpha, I didn't know about the alpha omega song.
God thing.
Yeah, so but it has nothing to do with actual Omegaverse. But yeah. Okay. Introduction. Hello, I am the Michelin star chef Shira. Nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
-3 Michelin stars.
-3. Yes, and you are?
I'm Miko. Full name is Corey. I go by in real life.
What? Okay,
I'm not a figment of your imagination.
thanks. Great introduction.
No, actually, my name is so easy to find, like my real life name. Anyone
You
can
shouldn't
find it.
advertise this.
Go look for it.
Who is McCory real name?
McCory real name? Question mark.
Okay. And today we're talking about Omegaverse. Wow, after hyping it up last time. So, I don't know how much you scripted out, but I
Oh,
have
nothing.
okay, cool. I have like a very basic bullet point list that I wrote down like 3 seconds before we started. So, all right. So let's start with like a basic explanation of what it is, because
Okay.
even though I think most people who watch us and know us will have know what it is, it's still like a good thing to cover,
Okay, so
just in case. So
that's like a
yes.
really funny misconception, actually, because once you're steeped in Omegaverse, you think everyone knows about Omegaverse, but like, actually not. Most people only kind of know it in passing. They're like, oh, Omegaverse, yeah, I've kind of heard about it,
No, I mean
but they
like
don't know
if I
Omegaverse, you
meet
know?
someone online like in the same circles that we're in, I would assume yes, you know about Omegaverse. But if I meet someone on the street, then I would say no, of course not.
Okay, so history of Omegaverse, it basically started from the supernatural fandom,
Mhm.
and then it trickled down into other fandoms. Because they had this like writing prompt in like 2011, 2010, I don't remember, where they're like, oh yeah, write a write a prompt about like they didn't say alpha, beta, omega, but
No, but
it was it came out
yeah,
kind of like that. So there was a bunch of fics written about that. It was like a writing week. And then after that came the actual alpha, beta, omega stuff.
yeah,
And after more people picked it up, it became branded as the Omegaverse.
yeah.
Very simple.
Very simple. Good history lesson. Actually, the first fic that was written, uh, that counts as a megaverse, the supernatural one. Because I watched a video while I was drawing and just like going over Omegaverse and stuff, and apparently that fic was actually like not of like the supernatural characters, but like the actors. I didn't
Oh
know
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
So nice. I didn't. I thought it was purely supernatural.
I think it was because one of the actors acted I read it and then I forgot about it, but it was some other movie or series where the actor was it Dean Winchester, the actor that did Dean, was in a thing where he was like a a human with feline DNA or something, and all of
Yeah.
the women go into heat, and so they were like, "Oh, let's take inspiration for that and use it on these guys."
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so history, Omegaverse. Do you want to talk about do we want to talk about like the world structure or at least the general world
Oh yeah,
structure
we
that
should
everyone
definitely
has?
talk about the world structure. So
Yeah.
basically, there are two genders, two main genders,
Mhm.
male, female, right? Kind of like our world.
Yeah.
But there's subgenders, which is the alpha, beta, omega stuff, where the alphas make like 10% of the population, and omegas make the other 10%, and the 80% are betas. So most people will become betas.
Yes. Actually, the
Uh,
percentage thing might be just a Japanese infographic
yeah, it
thing.
might be just a Japanese thing, but like
It
if you want to give
varies.
people like if you want to give people like a general idea, it's always like, oh yeah, there's always more betas than alphas and omegas because alpha and omegas are kind of special.
Yeah, basically. Beta is just like a general population thing. NPCs.
Uh, yeah. So beta genders, their main gender and their subgender kind of don't matter. Because because they'll like default to their main gender. So like the male female stuff, they'll have male female anatomy. But
Mhm.
when it comes to alphas, this will depend um on the fiction you're reading.
Yeah.
So male alphas will have the male anatomy, whatever, but female alphas will have both the male and female anatomy. But
Yeah.
this, like I said, this will depend on your fiction because in some fictions the female alphas won't have the male anatomy, but in some fictions they will. And now in omegas, all male omegas can get pregnant. This is the same in every fiction, but
Yeah.
in certain fictions they'll also have the female anatomy. This can differ.
Yeah.
And all female omegas just have the female anatomy, but they're like extra fertile.
Yeah, that's how I understand it too, but I've mostly read like I actually I haven't read a lot with female omegas, so
I mean, in a world where MPreg is possible, why would you care about female omegas?
true, I guess. But yeah. Good laydown. Uh
Yeah, that's the basics of Omegaverse. Now you can go write your own Omegaverse fanfiction. Okay, now we
Hooray!
forgot to talk about ruts and heats.
Yeah.
So ruts are basically when the alphas go into heat. they're like, oh my god, I gotta impregnate something. And then heats are basically when the omegas go, oh my god, I need to be impregnated by something. Like I
Yeah.
want a baby so bad. That's basically it. Usually lasts about a week long, can last longer depending on the fiction. Sometimes it's only like 3 days. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
like half a month.
Yeah. And sometimes like I don't know, the heat thing can also vary. I read one where it's like an omega didn't go into heat because they were separated from their alpha for such a long time, and only when like the alpha came back they went back into heat, like I don't know, some menopause period. But
Menopause.
yeah, it differs sometimes. Sometimes alphas don't go into heat and it's just omegas. But the common theme is that omegas do go into heat, and it's very animal like.
And as you would have guessed, Omegaverse is usually like most of the fics are rated M or rated E.
Yeah,
E for
it's
everyone.
yeah.
No.
No, wrong E. E for explicit. That's why this stream is marked as mature. Is because most Omegaverse, yeah, has explicit scenes in it. Or it's like written as erotica or something. Because that's just what the genre is like. But I think as more and more people wrote about it, and as it got more and more popular, there are stories where it focuses more like generally instead of on, sex.
Yes.
Yes.
Just like all media.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then what else? Are pheromones a general Omega verse thing, or is that just Japanese?
Yes. It's a very normal Omegaverse thing. So pheromones are really important in Omegaverse actually, where but how they're emitted will differ from fiction to fiction.
Okay.
There are fictions where there are scent glands, so the pheromones only come out of the scent glands, usually located somewhere near the base of the neck. There are fiction where pheromones will be excreted from the entire body, so it's kind of like body odor but better.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and pheromones can be picked up by alphas and omegas, but usually not betas. So because betas are just normal human beings,
Yeah.
they don't have pheromones and they don't scent pheromones.
Yeah, pretty much. And a common thing is also that omegas or alphas can both take suppressants to suppress pheromones and then just present as like a beta
Yes,
if they
yes,
want to
yes.
hide their gender, and also maybe for other reasons as well.
Oh yes, very common are also like omega heat suppressants, where omegas take like pills or injections to suppress their heats while they were in heat.
Yeah.
Not every fiction has it, but most fiction will. Some form of heat suppressant, but they'll usually play it up and go like, "Oh, I'm a special omega, and heat suppressants don't really work on me."
Oh yeah. Okay. There's also a lot of soulmate talk and pair bonding in Omegaverse. Um, Most of the time, I think it ends up being something where the alpha will bite the omega on their neck, and then that will signify like a soul pair bond thing. Um, though I don't think
Yeah.
that's always the case. Soulmates and
Okay,
stuff.
so Omegaverse soulmate stuff. It's very popular. A lot of things will have it, where like an omega an al- and an alpha will sense the pheromones from each other and go like, "This is the one." Like it'll click immediately and don't know.
Yeah.
And if usually they'll like alpha bites omega on the neck, then the mark will form, and then they'll become bonded pairs for life.
Mhm.
Or sometimes that the mark can only happen with, like they can only mark the omega when the omega's in heat. Varies from fiction to fiction.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of fiction where there are no soulmate bonds, but they will talk about soulmate bonds. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, those are just myths," stuff like that.
What do you mean? Like metaphorically, like, oh, there are soulmates, but there's not like an actual soulmate
No, no,
thing?
no. Like usually they'll kind of like mention it, kind of like, "Oh, I wish I had a soulmate," but like another character will go, "Oh no, those are just myths, those don't exist," stuff like that. And like that sets the idea of in that universe that soulmate bonds don't actually exist. Usually the soulmate bonds not existing will happen mostly in the case where it's a fiction that's written where it's alpha alpha, alpha beta, omega beta, or omega omega.
Oh, okay. Wait, so it is like as in like soulmates just don't exist, or it's like they just can't, or what? What?
No, like in those fiction, they'll usually talk about like soulmates not existing
Yeah,
because like your actual lover can become anyone. It doesn't have to be an alpha omega pair
right.
because the soulmate bond in Omegaverse is always an alpha omega pair.
Yeah, but wait,
But there's also
but
some
in
really
that
spicy
universe,
fics.
is there soulmates in that universe that you're talking about, or is it like
No, 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 there's not.
okay, that's okay. It's
Oh,
yeah,
well,
so
there's
it's
also
something that
some really
varies from
spicy
story to
fics.
story. Some really
Yeah,
what fix?
some really spicy fics where it's like soulmates bonds do exist, but it's also a beta omega pairing.
Yeah.
So the beta is always scared that the omega is going to soulmate bond with some alpha, and sometimes in those fics it will happen, so it
Yeah.
becomes NTR.
There's also fix where it's alpha beta, but then there's something about like the beta becoming an omega.
Yeah, I hate those stuff. There's also stuff where it's like an alpha that is like actually a recessive omega, so
uh,
his real uh his real trait, or like a beta that's actually a recessive omega, so his real subgender is actually omega, stuff like that.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, once you meet the right alpha, you turn into a omega. And usually when you have an alpha alpha, like
Uh-huh.
and then one alpha becomes the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And then they intake so much of the other alphas in quotations essence. Uh, he get bitched and he becomes an omega. But bitching is also something that varies from fiction to fiction. Sometimes can happen, sometimes cannot happen.
Yeah. I've seen like alpha but with like I don't know if it was recessive omega or something, but something about like having like omega tendencies, but they're still an alpha, like, and then that was alpha alpha. I don't know. But yeah. Um, what else was it? Did we cover everything?
We're like how many minutes in?
Uh, only like 20 something.
Feels like 5.
It always takes a while to explain. Just imagine you're at a bar with strangers and you're like, so, in this world, there's alpha, betas, and omega. Okay.
Long ago, the alpha, beta, omegas lived together in harmony, but everything changed when the betas attacked.
When the betas attacked, I would read that. I don't know why, but like having like the betas just feel so like useless in Omegaverse because it's such like
Okay,
a
they actually drive the entire economy though.
yeah, that's true, but it's like they're not important in terms of like the meat of the story, like the romance action of the story. Like yeah, they hold up society, but like they don't do anything in the context of the actual story. Um,
I mean, it's
well,
because most people go into a megaverse wanting alpha omega stuff and not like betas are just normal humans, so who gives a
yeah.
shit?
Uh, yeah.
Imagine like you label your fic as a megaverse and your both of your main characters are betas.
I read a
That's gonna be
manga that
so
was
fucking
like
funny.
that, exactly like that. That was, and it was actually kind of nice. It was Omegaverse, but the main characters are betas, and they were talking about how like when they were younger, because they were childhood friends to lovers, and they were thinking that oh we're definitely each other's like soulmate, right? And then it turns out that they're both betas, right? So they're technically not each other's soulmate because they're betas, right? And there's this whole like segment where they're like second guessing their gender. They're like, but I feel so connected. I must be a soulmate, but I'm just a beta, you know. It's crazy. It was an alpha omega.
Yeah, I want to see a fic like that, like a fic on AO3. I haven't seen anyone do it.
Yeah, that's the thing I also wanted to touch upon. One of the topics that I wrote down was Omegaverse, but like fanfiction Omegaverse versus manga, webtoon, novel Omegaverse, and the differences between those two. Obviously, there are crossovers, but I feel like
Uh, big difference is you'll not see nodding in a manga Omegaverse.
oh yeah, sure. I feel like there's nodding in webtoons though, isn't there?
Depends. It's very rare, but you'll see it sometimes.
Okay, yeah, but rarely manga.
Yeah, even more rarely is manga. You can just say pretty much never.
Pretty much never. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it other than from like actual bestiality.
Oh, but you'll see this idea in some danme where like the Omega rips off their scent gland and they can never produce scent and no one's attracted to them ever
Oh
again.
god, what? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, you see that in danme.
Oh,
It's really brutal.
yeah, it sounds like it. Jesus. Oh yeah, it also reminds me like a common thing in manga is like the collar that omegas will wear to prevent alphas from biting their neck.
Oh, those, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that anywhere else or fan fiction.
Yeah, you don't usually see that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say that it's a never because someone probably would like get it from manga and put it into their fiction,
Yeah,
but
definitely. But yeah,
um
yeah.
it's very uncommon. You'll see that outside of manga because they're like they have more of like a what do you call it? An emphasis on non-con in manga.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And a lot of other fiction, like a lot of fan fiction, right?
hmm
You'll see like stuff that I've seen, pretty common. People won't enjoy non-con as much.
Yeah.
So it'd be like the alpha bites their arm to stop them from marking the omega.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You'll see that pretty often in fiction. You'll see it in some manga, but like manga is usually non-con.
Yeah.
Or like they'll frame it as like, oh, I've been non-con my entire life. You're the only person that took my consent into consideration.
Whoa.
That's why you're my soulmate.
Wow. I mean, well, as long as they're happy, it's okay. uh, oh yeah. Have you ever seen Omegaverse get a lot of hate? I don't go on social media often, so I have less of a perspective on that. But I feel like,
Uh,
yeah,
Kinda not really, cause like I don't deal with the antis, right? I
yeah.
do see a lot of people going like, "What the fuck," where like they don't understand Omegaverse and they think it's kind of gross, especially the nodding bit, and they think that all Omegaverse is nodding,
Well, that's just
or like
right.
a lot of people like making jokes or they're like praying that all they want for Christmas is to not read not accidentally read Omegaverse, like
What?
stuff like that,
Not
because they don't like the
accidentally.
idea of Omegaverse and they don't like. But mostly, when people have a problem with Omegaverse, it's the mpreg and not anything else because they don't know much about anything else.
They don't like the mpreg?
Yeah, they don't like the mpreg. Mpreg
Why?
is a very like
They
it's
just
a
think
tag
it's
people like
weird.
to avoid
Oh, okay.
because mpreg has a lot of like controversy.
Okay.
Where they're like, um, I personally like mpreg, so I'm kind of biased, but most of the controversy stems from like you're making fake anatomy, stuff like that, or like you're sexualizing trans men.
Okay. All right.
But usually I'd like to reason that mpreg actually introduces the idea that men can be pregnant and it's okay. So when you see it reflected in real life, you're like, oh yeah, that man got pregnant. That's okay. That's normal. You
Yeah.
know? You're kind of desensitized to go into desensitized in a way where you're like, you're not gonna go, a man is pregnant? Ew, that's not a man, you know? Like, yeah, you can still be a man and then retain your manliness if you're pregnant.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that there's actually, because I watched one video, man, and then there was a person who was saying they don't like Omegaverse as a trans person because they think that, instead of writing about trans men, they're just writing about Omega males. I'm like, it's
Oh,
funny you
yeah,
bring that up. That's like the exact opposite
yeah.
critique.
So the way I see it is that in a perfect world, you wouldn't have trans people because everyone will be born the gender that they want.
Right?
Like you wouldn't have people born with a dissonance with their like the their body in their head and their actual body.
Hmm.
So that's the perfect world that doesn't exist, but it can always exist in fiction. So I think like if you can view Omegaverse as that kind of world, uh, you can make the case that yeah, they're all Omegas are actually trans men.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Especially if it's a fiction where like the Omegas have only female anatomy, or like Omega males only have female anatomy,
Yeah.
um or they have both the male and female reproductive system.
Yeah.
So like in those cases, you can make a big case for like, oh yeah, they're actually all the equivalent of trans men in our reality, but like in that reality, everyone is born the gender that they were assigned at birth because there's no dissonance for them. Like the dissonance of being born in the wrong body just does not exist in that fictional world.
Okay. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. A big problem some people also have with Omegaverse is actually that they're like it still uh very very much pushes the idea of traditional male and female uh what do you call it,
Gender roles?
stereotypes, like male female stereotypes, male female
Gender
what's the
roles.
word, yeah, gender roles, thank you. Yeah, I'm like that thing. uh
Yeah.
but yeah, they're like the male female gender roles, the traditional male female gender roles is pushed onto the alpha and omega really hard, like Omegas are always seen as super submissive, super like nurturing, emotional, takes
Right.
care of the family, cannot go out to do anything, super
Absolutely
weak,
useless.
yeah, absolutely damsels in distress, and alphas are usually big, strong, macho man,
Yeah.
provides for the family, breadwinner of the family, so strong physically and mentally.
Hmm.
there's a lot of fiction that's trying to subvert from this idea. They're like, they'll have it, they'll go like, oh yeah, traditionally society says that omegas and alphas are like this, but fuck that, I'm an omega that knows how to fist fight,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
most of the stuff that I read is like that. It subverts the sort of gender roles of an Omegaverse society.
Yeah, but a lot of Omegaverse is still like, because a lot of Omegaverse was in the ye olden days, right?
Hmm.
There's still a lot of those stuff where it's like it doesn't actually subvert those traditional gender norms, and they're like, you're pushing this so hard into a gay couple, you're pretty practically just fetishizing gay men, and like it's still very heteronormative because like you're always pairing uh people up with, you're always pairing in quotations the breadwinner with the submissive person, or like
Right.
the
Yeah.
person that can give genetic information and the person that can create a baby. It's like it's very heteronormative. You're just, it's, some people will say that it's just, it's fake, like it's not actually a gay story, it's still a heteronormative story because of all this, like you're not actually facing the problems of reality. But to that I
Okay.
say, the reason we have fiction is that we don't have to face reality.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like a big difference between like Eastern BL and then like Western BL. Like I feel like a lot of BL manga never really touch on like, oh, like like gay rights and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
LGBT
it's so hard to
stuff.
be gay, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't really
They
touch
don't
on
really
it.
touch on that. But if you're watching anything from the US that's LGBT, like it's like a topic, like they have to talk about it, you know? Like Love
Like,
Simon
yeah,
or
stuff like,
Heartstopper or whatever.
yeah, like how hard it is to come out to your family, how your
Yeah,
family will react.
all that stuff. Like it's part
But
of a
in
package deal.
Eastern BL, technically in Eastern BL,
There is
uh,
talk of like how it's like, oh man, it's so weird for me to like a guy,
yeah,
like that sort of thing.
and also like a really bad thing about, we're going on a tangent on BLs now, but like a bad thing about Eastern BL is that quite a lot of it will go. The moment they start liking you, they're like, "Am I gay?"
Oh yeah.
But because the only thing they know is gay and straight, they're not like, oh wait, I actually swing both ways. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen very little of that. Like they do exist, don't get me wrong, but like it's so little.
I mean, I guess that just comes
Or
with like if you haven't never heard about LGBT stuff before and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh wait, I'm in love with a guy." You'll immediately assume like, "Oh, I must be super gay then," right? But then obviously it's like a thing where it's like if you do more research on it, you'll figure it out. But
yeah,
yeah.
or you'll have this thing where like I'm still straight, I'm just gay for this one dude, or
Oh,
like
right.
I like you despite your gender, which is like not really the case for real gay people. There's actually like a really good anime manga on this, where it's like I'm in love with the villainess, where they talked about her the main character's gayness, where they're like, oh, so you're in love with people regardless of their gender, and she's like, no, that's wrong, that's a misconception. Actually, I'm in love with her because she is a woman. Like
Oh yeah, I've read that
I'm not
one.
gonna like her if she was a man. I don't like men. Stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that, like, they brought up a really good point. You don't usually see that in like Eastern media. Uh, Usually if they're like, oh, I like you despite the gender that you are, kind of situation. Like I'll love you regardless of whatever you are. It was just like
I
a
love
good
you because
sentiment, but
it's
it's not.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, a good sentiment, but it's not what. It's not the true lived experience for most queer people.
Yeah. A lot of BO is just kind of like their first gay crush is now their boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay. It's fantasy.
What else is there about Omegaverse we
We
can talk
kind
about?
of branched off. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Come back, come back.
come back, read it backwards. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I had a hope, like, I thought there would be more backlash against it, but I guess most of the backlash is stuff that's not really worth debating about. It's just, oh, it's weird, kind of centered.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like things that they don't understand, so they're like, oh, it's weird. I don't like Omegaverse. I
Yeah.
don't want that anywhere near me.
I mean, you're free to, you know, drink from a different cup of tea, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Omegaverse, the video that I watched before that was talking about it went into a lot about how political Omegaverse can get, especially with the world building of how omegas and alphas are portrayed and how it kind of reflects the real world, and how the the way the structure is set up can sometimes be kind of like a idealized society or some sort of dystopian society that, and then you can root for the main characters that are fighting against it without it having actually being like our society.
Okay, so a lot of Omegaverse, sorry, I'm chewing, but
Uh-huh.
a lot of Omegaverse can be like a commentary on our society. Um, in Omegaverse, because of all the traditional mass roles given to alphas and omegas, right?
Yeah.
And then it's multiplied, square rooted. No, not square root, like squared, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They emphasize the gender differences in their society, or how their society perceives the differences in gender, and that can be a commentary on our reality as well. Where
Yeah.
so in the Omegaverse, they use omegas as like uh what agents, like a second class of citizens,
Mm-hmm.
where they don't have a lot of rights, they don't have a lot of protection, and when they do get, or in fiction where they do have rights and protection like others, they're still discriminated against based on how they look, what they're born as, right?
Right.
Um, that can reflect into a reality. Usually, if you tie it with like women,
Mm-hmm.
how like women get less pay, stuff like that. It's harder for women to find work, and harder for them to move up in their workplace. So
Yeah.
that's like exactly like omegas, but for omegas, it's like emphasized and it's multiplied. So they can't get the work in the first place, so they can't even move up in the workplace because they don't have work, or like they have to lie about being an omega. So
Yeah.
like, what if
Or
in a universe where
yeah.
women can actually lie about being women, would we get jobs, and how much? What are the lengths we have to go through to actually hide the fact that we're women? Stuff like that. I think you can kind of like mental gymnastics the two together, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Usually, also in Omegaverse, you don't see discrimination against women, like the gender women. You see discrimination against omegas.
Yeah.
Uh, so in those worlds, like if you're a woman beta, that's why you don't see much talk about betas in Omegaverse. Like you don't be treated just pretty much like a dude,
Yeah,
like
pretty
in
much.
terms of like salary, pay, your physical fitness, which I think is really neat.
Yeah, it's like um similar to BL too. It's like uh it's appealing because it's kind of, it still talks about the serious topics that you want to read about without the like direct relation to real world, right? So it's like there's sort of like a little barrier between it, but you're still reading about the same stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like uh, it has to reality and fiction have to reflect each other a little bit, but then how they reflect each other is entirely up to the other, right? And also how you frame it in your head. And I like that it takes a little bit of creativity for you yourself to be able to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, kind of refreshing seeing men get discriminated against in the workplace. Kind of refreshing.
Well,
Not gonna
that's
lie.
like kind of it's like part of the appeal of Omegaverse, where it's like sometimes people will critique it and say, isn't it like embarrassing to see like a man, on his knees, like on
Oh, honey,
Omega.
we love seeing men on their knees, even if it wasn't Omegaverse.
Yeah, it's like that's like the whole idea where it's like a guy experiencing the hardships that women usually do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's refreshing. It's nice. Also, I feel like there's a certain like because you put a barrier between reality and fiction, right?
Hmm.
Like maybe if you had a woman experience like you see a female Omega in this world, right? And then experiencing all the hardships and you're just like, there's no point in making a fiction anymore. That's just my real
Yeah.
lived experience. And it's kind of harrowing seeing that, but when it's a dude, you're like, oh yeah, look at this bitch.
That's the good shit. Oh yeah. Um, shit, see, I lost my train of thought. Sometimes, see, we talked about like it being sort of a reflection on, uh, I guess women being discriminated against, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, though there is sometimes, I think like a a twist on that where it's more utopian than dystopian. It's like a idealized situation. Like for example, Omega heats, right? They come every month. They
Mhm.
last about a week. It's very, very similar to female periods, right? Uh and so but in Omegaverse, a lot of times when an Omega has their heat, they get like days off from work and shit. When
No,
human
that varies from fiction to
It
fiction,
varies,
actually.
yes, okay. But there are some Omegaverse fics where they can take days off for their heat and just stay at home, which is crazy to think about because that would never happen in our society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're experiencing pain. Go to
Pain.
work.
Yeah. I guess like I don't know. For me, my period cramps aren't too bad. I can still walk around and shit. But I know there are people who like get cramps so bad they could literally not move from their bed. Yeah. Or they like throw up too, which sucks
Oh,
big
yeah, I
time.
want to
Yeah.
try those like
You want to
period
try
pain.
throwing up?
No, no, I meant like that thing they give to men, the period pain simulator.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
don't usually get period pains and cramps and stuff, right? So I'm like,
What really? Okay.
I wonder if I can handle a 10 on that thing. Because like men will literally like go pale and almost pass out at
Yeah.
about a 6 on that, and I'm like, I can do better. I know I can do better.
Same here. Like, even though I do get cramps, I'm like, how does it measure on the scale? How bad are my cramps compared to another woman's cramps? Who knows? Yeah. There's also, in addition to like the taking time off for your heat, right? There's also like Omega. There's one manga where it's like a hospital had like a specifically Omega section just for and like alphas were not allowed in that section, right? Which I thought was really nice. You
Well,
don't
I want to
see
see this
much.
in Omegaverse fiction, but like I'll like Omega parking space, Omega parking, like women parking in real life.
Women
I want to see
parking.
that.
All the cars are sideways. Kidding. Yeah, it was like Japan's women only train cart.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Omega only train cars. I
Omega
want to
only
see it.
train carts.
I'll talk about like the Japan women only. Like I saw, it's a TikTok off someone else's TikTok, but it was like this white American dude who was like, "Oh yeah, look at this! In Japan, we have women only train cars." And then while he was taking it, he walked into the women only train cars, and I'm like, "Dude, get out! You're a dude.
Oh my god, the
This
point
is
of the
not for you.
card. Step out. Yeah.
Step out immediately."
Yeah. It's only during a certain time though, so maybe they filmed it when it wasn't rush hour. It's only during rush hour.
No, even if it's like rush hour or not rush hour, if it says it's a woman only train car, men are not supposed to be even step
No.
in
On
there.
the sign, they say women only, but they put this time down. Like, it's women only during like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then it's like a regular train car during the other times.
Ah.
The more you know. But the stickers do stay, so if you didn't read the fine print, you might just assume that it's women only. All the
Huh.
time. Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, he was getting
Yes.
so much shit for that. As he should.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any like topical Omegaverse news? Anything that happened recently about Omegaverse? Because I feel like it's
Uh,
just a thing that's been around and it's just grown in popularity. But it's not like it's made like mainstream news headlines, other than, I don't know, actor reads fan fiction for the first time.
there's Omegaverse Thai BL series, which is like kind of the first of its kind. So we had the news release some time ago about China going to make the first Omegaverse series, right?
Mhm.
So we were like, oh my god, China is going to make the first Omegaverse live action series. And then
Wow.
turns out no, Thailand was like, fuck you, we'll do it first. And then they came out with a Omegaverse series called Pit Babe.
Oh, right, you talked about this.
And the worst part is, so the guy that looks like the alpha,
Uh-huh.
the guy that looks like the alpha, right? The more like masculine looking guy is the Omega, apparently. I haven't
Oh,
looked into
okay.
it, but like apparently that guy is the Omega, and Babe, the guy named Babe,
Yeah.
with like really soft features and like round glasses, that's the alpha. And I'm like, you're going to do the first Omegaverse, like the first ever live action Omegaverse series, and then subvert the Omegaverse stereotype? Nah, let's have some stereotypes, like lay down the groundwork first and then subvert it later. Come on.
Yeah.
Where's my rich CEO and like um struggling damsel in distress Omega?
That's just the regular rom-com. Oh my god. Yeah. Other than that, wait, let me check how long ago this was, because I've gotten recommendations for this video, but I don't know when. Oh, this is 3 years ago. Oh wow, that is not topical anymore. But
Uh,
apparently there's a fanfic that landed itself in federal court.
what?
Have you seen that? There's a video. I didn't
No.
watch this video. I should probably watch it. But I got like a sort of brief breakdown of what it was. But basically, there's some fanfic writer trying to sue other people for plagiarism over Omegaverse. When
You can't do that
Omegaverse,
though.
yeah, when Omegaverse is like a public, like it's a genre. It's like suing someone for writing another romance fic. Yeah.
I made the only Omegaverse, not the man.
How dare they? Yeah. I think it's pretty cool that it's come so far, Omegaverse. It's grown up. The child, the baby. Hang on, I need to mute to cough.
Cough on stream, you coward.
No. Also, I ran out of water. I should probably fill that. Anyway, um, okay. So I think we can branch off a bit from like general Omegaverse topic, and we can go into more of like what we prefer to see in Omegaverse.
I've never seen an Omega story. I want to see that.
Would an Omega story? Oh yeah, it would work fine, maybe.
I want to see a story where it's like, but they were both bottoms. Or like, they both pretended to be betas, so they fell for each other. And then once the time comes, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually an Omega." Oh shit, me too. I want to see that.
How to Oh right, also this is shit. I went back to general topic, but you talking about Omega made me real thought of made me remember something. Because I've seen stories where like after a pair bonds together, like after the bite on the neck happens, like the Omega like stops going into heat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Is that a usual thing or is that just depends on the
nah,
story?
that's a depend on the story thing. There's also like depending on some stories, the Omega will only go into heat, but the Omega will still go into heat, but only their pheromones will only affect their alpha after bond, so it won't affect anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Or like in general, their pheromones all the time will not affect anyone else. Like no one else will smell it except for their alpha,
Yeah.
which I think makes no fucking sense. But like, that's not how pheromones work. But like, it's not like humans really have pheromones in the first place. So it's a fictional story in a fictional setting. Anything can happen.
Yes. Also, like Omega so like going back to your Omega story, I was thinking if like oh if there's no if no, biting on the neck and nothing happens, right? Like if their heats sync up, wouldn't that suck for like a double
But that
income
would be so
household?
funny. Like, what if? Okay,
Yeah.
what if in a setting there's Omega, or like you have an Omega with Omega friends? It's kind of like periods where it's like if you have friends that are that also have periods around you.
Yeah.
Usually your periods will somehow sync up.
Yeah.
That would be so funny, and then like all of their heat somehow sync up in like a friend group.
The friend group. Like, why didn't Stacy come with us to the mall today? Yeah, and Jennifer's gone too. That's so weird.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I, I want to see Omegaverse in more like mainstream Western media.
Mainstream. I don't know if they can. Or
No,
actually,
no, yeah, they can,
they
of course, in
can.
like
Okay, I was
novels.
thinking like you can't have like explicit sex in AMC theaters, but no, there's been.
Uh, things like what do you call it? Like more novels with like gay Omegaverse stuff, because novels in Western media usually some will do ABO. They won't
Yeah.
call it a Megaverse. They're too scared to call it a Megaverse. But they'll do ABO, but it will always be a straight couple.
Yes, which is kind of
Which
gross.
is really disgusting.
They're
Like,
scared of
oh
us
my
finding
god.
it. That's why they don't call it Omegaverse.
Uh, so I want to see more like gay Omegaverse fanfic. No, not fanfic. Gay
Novels.
Omegaverse novels on Western media. Just you already have like Omegaverse manga, Omegaverse novels, and Eastern media. But like, I want to see more of it in Western media. Because in Western media, it's usually like only in fanfiction. People don't go out of fanfiction. They don't write actual novels for it.
Yeah.
Not usually.
Yeah. Well,
But if
yeah.
it's straight, write anything.
What? You cut out.
If it's oh sorry, if it's straight, you'll find anything.
Oh. Ha ha
Uh,
ha.
I don't. It's so disgusting. Where it's like because Omegaverse has a lot of like a very stereotypical Omegaverse will have a lot of gender norms. Like traditional gender norms, and you see a normal
Yeah,
woman as
exactly.
an omega, it's kind of disgusting.
It's just like normal gender roles, but then you just kick it up a notch to like 100, and that's straight
Yeah,
Omegaverse. Like you didn't change anything, you just made everything more extreme. And
you
which,
just
yeah.
you just gave a reason for the male lead to non-con the female lead, and then make
Yeah.
the female lead go, "Oh no, it's okay. It's actually dub con."
It's actually not.
No, girl, it's not okay.
Oh man. Yeah, that power
And there's like
dynamic
no,
is
because
not.
like
Hmm.
in most gay Omegaverse, when non-con happens, there's still some repercussion for people that non-con, right? But in straight Omegaverse, I don't really see a repercussion for people that non-con.
What, really? Dang.
Like they will non-con, and then the female lead will just fall in love with them. But I've never been non-con like this before. Tuck's hair behind ear.
Oh god. Ew.
Yeah, right.
Yuck.
But like,
Gross.
I hate the damsel in distress having to be saved out of a non-con thing situation. But even that is kind of better than I've never been non-con like this before. You know.
Better than the misunderstanding. Or not misunderstanding. Or like non-con leads to love sort of thing. Where it's like, what? I got aroused. That must mean that I love them. No, honey.
Quite that happens quite a little, and like quite a bit in like webtoon where it's like non-con leads to love or something, or
Yeah.
like there's no actual resolution for a non-con. They just say sorry, and then they're like, "Oh, you found it's okay. Thank you for saying sorry." Like, fuck
Yeah.
off.
But I don't read a lot of webtoon. Not that manga doesn't have it though. Manga also has it.
Yeah, but manga has like a bigger pool,
Yeah. It's
so
like
it's
you can
easier to
easily
avoid it.
tell. Yeah, when like on the cover you'd be like, "Oh, this is definitely safe." There's also, of course, tagging. So, does webtoon have tagging?
Not for non-con stuff. Not for the non-con is non-con. Ah, yeah, you said sorry. It's okay. Not for that.
Really? They don't have anything?
There's some tagging, but they don't tag as like they don't tag as
They don't
seriously as
tag it's
manga.
not non-con.
Yeah, they don't count that as non-con because they conned it later. I don't know.
Because
It's
they
not even
conned
dub
it
con.
later.
They conned it after the fact.
Yeah, because that counts. Okay. Jeez. Wow, they should really work on fixing that.
Wow, it's like it says something about their society. No, I'm sorry.
Shush.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Omegaverse. This is the thing. I don't read a lot of Omega. Well, I read enough Omegaverse to understand the general story.
No,
Hi,
thank you for the
Hershey.
alert. I'm
Yeah.
eating chocolate right now. I'm eating you.
Hello,
Yeah.
please. Okay. Yeah. So I don't. This isn't really much that I want to see because when I go into Omegaverse, I kind of expect the same Omega Alpha Omega pairing, and it's nice to be surprised, but I'm not quite sure what I want to be surprised with.
Omega's going into heat together. That's what I want to be surprised with.
I hope you find that story, or you can write it yourself. Ooh.
Do I look like a writer to you? Do I look?
No, stop. Hmm. Trying to think if there's any Omegaverse story that I remember like really liking. Most of it just kind of fell for me.
There was
Mm.
that one where like the Omega was wanted to be with a rich alpha so bad, but ends up with their beta childhood friend.
Really? Wait, can you send me that one?
I sent you that one last week.
Oh, wait, see, I was gonna read it and then I got distracted. I read other things. I read other Omegaverse fics. I was going through the Omegaverse tag on MRM, but I didn't get very far.
No, don't talk about MRM on here. That's illegal.
It's okay. It's the abbreviation. They'll never know.
And like, if you know, you know.
If
Kind
you,
of
yes,
situation.
exactly. Don't say anything. uh, but there is actually, now that I think about it, there is one story that I kind of liked. It was, but like, shit, it's been a while, so I don't remember the plot. But I remember it was Omegaverse, and but the Omega was like very alpha looking, I guess. It was like very Yankee looking boy.
Oh, that one. And then he like punches Alpha.
Yeah, yeah, I like that one a lot.
And like they were like, you need to take your heat suppressant. And it's like, I will willpower through it.
Yeah, that, oh, what a dumbass. There's also the one that I read with like the weird Omega powers I was telling you about, which I read up to where it stopped. It's ongoing, but it's okay. It has kind of like a rough start because it's kind of confusing, but I like the direction that it's going in now. Um, but yeah, I've never seen Omegas do that, which is like after reading it, I understand now that's not an Apple AirTag, but basically the Omega creates like this tiny little ball that's skin colored, and like it's like a mood ring basically for the Omega, and he gives it to the Alpha. And whenever the Alpha is like really mean or like makes him sad or whatever, like the ball will like shrivel up. Like it's like a representation of the Omega's feelings. And like if the Omega is like in heat or like embarrassed or whatever, like the ball will turn red and it'll get really hot. Yeah, I don't know the what kind of plot device that's used for. And also the ball can grow legs and an eye. It's kind of scary. A singular eye like Mike Wazowski.
Okay. Disregarding that.
No, but the story itself, it's kind of good though. It's really funny, and I like the sort of slow burn that it's happening. Uh, but I do think it's age gap though, because the Alpha is a high schooler and the Omega is like a working nurse.
Let's not. No.
No. Highly recommend.
Age gap. We'll talk about age gap next week. Thanks.
Age gap next week. I don't think age gap is enough. And like, I don't think there's enough meat with age gap to make like a
Again, and we can
whole
talk about
episode
age
on.
gap right now.
No.
Or like next week it can be controversial fictional tropes. Or just problematic fiction? Question mark.
Okay, sure. Problematic fiction with a question mark and an exclamation point. Age gap, dubcon, incest. The big three.
The big three. Height gap.
Height
Height
gap is
gap.
not controversial.
Some people say it's very controversial.
Cause what? It's like minor coding.
Yeah,
Then
actually.
that just falls into age gap.
No, minor coding I like to think is something entirely different from age gap.
Okay. I guess. But
Because age gap can be like a 30-year-old and a 400-year-old vampire.
Oh, okay. But
And they're both adults.
Okay.
And they're both portrayed as adults.
So you mean
it's just one of them is 400 years old vampire.
So instead of minor coding, it's lolly shota.
What?
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 What? Because the issue is that it's not the age gap, it's because the other party it looks like a minor.
Oh yeah, minor coding, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Height code. Height difference.
Height
Yes.
coding.
Height coding characters. I like that actually. You're 6 foot, but you have the personality of a 4'11".
Nick.
You have the vibes like you're 5'1", but you have the vibes of like someone 7 foot.
7 foot. Not
7
even
foot.
human. Well, it is human, but it's like you get medical problems, man.
Yeah, your legs can literally not hold up your weight.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, anything else you want to add before we completely go off topic?
Someone go write me an omega fic and a beta fic.
You should make
I
like a because they have like R18 like requests. People do those. You gotta worm your way into one of those.
I gotta befriend a writer and then exploit my friendship.
I mean, never mind.
I tried doing that before, it didn't work. They never finished their story.
Oh yeah. Um, okay. So I thought as a cool way to continue the Omegaverse topic, we should take a quiz.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be fun? Right, Miko?
No.
Wouldn't that be so much fun?
You know what? If you think it's fun, we can do it.
Thanks. Here, I'll send it to you on V. I'll also put it in the chat so you can play along at home.
Oh my god. Zay is missing. Is that the thumbnail? I just noticed.
Oh, wait, I didn't even realize that could be the case because I originally drew that as just you and me, um and then Zay said that they could join, so I was like, shit, I gotta add Zay in here, so I put Zay on the paper. But then Zay couldn't make it, so I guess it makes sense now.
Oh right. Actually there's this trend on TikTok for certain things where it's like you act like Omegaverse is real and you are like actually in an Omegaverse universe. There's this person who like they bottle lip gloss, right? They sell lip gloss from home.
Okay.
So they instead of saying it's lip gloss, they fucking said, "Look at all the slick."
No, I don't like that trend.
Bottling slick.
No. We
Or
didn't talk
like
about Slick, but yeah.
someone printed out labels for their like medication for their med bottle, and it's like heat suppressant, rot suppressant, and they slapped that on their med bottles instead. Okay, so with Euclid stuff, like they'll always tell you to input a name or something, right? And then I always put egg.
Oh, really? I just put X.
Also, I need to go. I need to mute for a second because like my mom's calling.
No problem. Okay. Quiz time. What's your favorite emoji from this lineup? Wow. If you choose the pleading face emoji, you immediately get Omega. You don't even have any other option. It just jumps to the end of the thing and they're like, oh, we know. Are you a furry? This is a lot of answers for furry. I play Animal Crossing. Did I take this quiz before? No, but I think Boston's no. Uh,
I hate the persona question because like at one point I did have a persona, but I don't anymore.
but like, does that change? So, are you not a furry now? You
I mean,
become
I
a
still like
furry of the
Anthro.
past? Right.
I still like Anthro, but I don't have a persona anymore.
Yeah, so wait. Oh, wait, these are all They all say yes and persona. Then you just put I'm monster fuck. I'm kidding.
Monster fucker,
I'm a
yeah.
monster fucker. We have a anti-hyper what? Hypersensitive medication. You can label them as suppressant because they reduce the sexual function. And you technically wouldn't be wrong. Thank you, Nick. Did you go to art school? No.
Least favorite fanfic trope? No.
Least favorite pregnancy fic. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm okay with mpreg. I just don't like giving birth.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Hurt
I don't like
comfort.
having a kid.
Hurt comfort, actually, because, like, why
What?
not just comfort?
Why not just her comfort is every fic though. You can't say it's your what this shouldn't even be on here. What are the other ones? Body swap, her comfort, mafia, magic.
Which of these fanfic sextings is your least favorite? Eggs, no! Eggs, good!
Thanks. Uh,
Which of this most
easy
fits
answer.
to any female born after 1993?
Any. Oh, okay. Can't cook. McDonald's. Oh no.
Eat hot chip lie.
Any female born after 1993.
Do you like podcasts? I'm in a podcast. Yeah, we have our own podcast, excuse you.
Does that mean you like it though? It can be different.
Who knows?
Who
What's
knows?
just your favorite piece of werewolf shifter?
Favorite piece of werewolf wolf shifter. Oh. Wait, have I taken this quiz before? It's like now I'm confused.
You have to take someone else's leg. What would you hope it tastes like?
What? Ew, no.
Pussy flavor.
That's just
What does
normal.
kombucha taste like?
Oh, kombucha tastes really bad. Or that's my opinion. Some people like it, but it's like fermented stuff. I don't know. It's just not for me.
How often do you read fanfiction?
Parmesan? Steak
What
dinner?
was
I feel like you can't make like texture would be weird. Sorry. How
favorite
often?
wolf species? Bro.
Position.
Oh yeah, but scent blockers in Omegaverse doesn't exist in all fics. So scent blockers are different from suppressants for heat and ruts.
Oh, right.
And in some Omegaverse, ruts don't even exist, only heats exist, so like
Yeah.
alphas don't go into anything.
Yeah. Or like, yeah. Alphas really only what like become feral when they smell an omega. What is wolf subspecies? Doesn't matter. These all seem like the same. Imagine you're blah 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 because recently what do you do?
Would you kiss your homies goodnight? My homies aren't super hygienic, so I'll pass.
Oh no! Don't pick that one. I took a shower. Oh, yes.
Fuck yeah! I got my answer.
Okay, I'm slower since I read. I'm indecisive.
Should I read mine?
Give me a sec. I'm 2 questions away.
Also, I need to go downstairs and hang up some laundry
Uh,
before my mom gets home and I get yelled at. When you live with your parents, man.
okay. Okay, I got it. Oh my god, we got the same one.
Seriously? Okay,
Yeah,
you read then.
okay, all right. Your result, Alpha. You got a huge fat nut and a ridiculously fuck, I can't read words.
Viral.
Virile. I don't know what that word means. You go into ruts, which are pretty much just fits of horniness when it feels like you either gotta fuck until you pass out or fight other alphas so that you can fuck until you pass out. Omegas are irresistible to you. You are highly instinct driven and are more stereotypically wolf like than betas or omegas. Often you have the power in society, though in some fics you may be subjugated out of fear of your primal strength. You are more likely to be able to shift into an actual werewolf than betas or omegas, who often just completely lack the ability. Alphas are usually hyper-masculine caricatures of strong, aggressive men. Alphas of other genders exist, but are not as commonly main characters as men are. Most alphas are written as doms or tops, but not all. Depends on what the author wants. The details don't really matter though, because your meat is fucking huge, and you smell like pine trees and a Home Depot or something. Every Omega will want a piece of you once they get a whiff of your P-ruts. What fuck? Pre-rut
Purine?
strut? Sweat. P
No.
P-rut strut. No, pre-rut sweat. Okay. Yeah, so do you agree?
Sure, why not? Now I can't believe Shiko is an alpha pairing.
I also can't believe. I was fully expecting to get beta or something.
Apparently not.
Most people could get the tester. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, because most people are subs.
That's
Most
true.
people on the internet are subs.
Everyone on the
Disgusting.
internet is a sub. Well, yes, most people.
On our side of the internet, anyway.
Yeah. That one lesbian dating surfer, well, I was scrolling through all the profiles and everyone was a sub. Everyone was a sub.
Okay, hold the fort. I'm gonna go hang up
Hold the fort.
stuff.
Okay, well, Miko hangs up stuff. The alpha result comes with a photo. I don't know if I can send it because it seems kind of inappropriate. I don't know I don't know what is allowed and not allowed on VStream, but I assume nipples are highly discouraged, so I will not show this picture. But it is a guy who has giant pecs, and it says, even my huge leaking breasts that are filled with my brain couldn't even understand this. And then the Omega says, what the fuck is your problem? This picture reminds me of that one trend where people drink boba by putting it on their tits. And it was only really impressive when the men could do it too. I had no idea how they got those pictures. Witchcraft, editing, or I don't know, God-given willpower. But kind of crazy. But yeah, I think we'll probably devolve and go pretty off topic from Omegaverse, but yeah, if you have any questions, this is an open Q&A session. I'm kidding. You don't have to ask questions. I think Miko brought up this point before, like maybe in a different stream. But but like part of the appeal of Omegaverse, especially for writers, is that there is sort of like a basic structure to it. The obviously the alpha, beta, omega society and like the heats and stuff, right? But a lot of the stuff can vary from story. So as a writer, you really have a lot of creative freedom to sort of build the societal structure the way you want it, that fits whatever story that you're trying to tell. Like even with the one that I was talking about with the Omega with the weird powers and the little ball of skin and the eyeball and everything that I have never seen before, but like technically they can do that. Like it's not there's no like harsh set of rules that you have to align yourself with in order for a story, an Omegaverse story to be called Omegaverse. I guess other than like the very basic ones that we went over, right? Like you can expand on that and do completely different stuff. Like there's also stories where um they allow like second gender like switching either through like some sort of procedure or some magical item, I don't know. Or it's just like a thing that everyone can do. I've heard about that. I'm not 100% sure, but basically like you can switch your second gender and to like whatever you want, right? So it's less of like something you're born into and more of like this is what my preference is. Like I want to be an omega or I want to be an alpha or something like that. Though I don't know how exactly that kind of story would work. But hey, if it's an interesting perspective. Hello, are you back?
Yeah,
Welcome
I'm all
back.
good.
I was talking about how it's nice that Omegaverse has a lot of cool creative freedom with writers. And they can make Omegaverse stories kind of however they, oh my god, why? It can make Omegaverse stories like however they want it to be. And 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 Miko can make herself as small as she wants. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm so much taller. Look at that. Ah! No, I can't. Ah, okay.
See, this is why you should have hotkeyed your default position.
My window is never the same size. I can't hotkey anything. It's too late. Okay. Yeah. Anything else on your mind? Oh my god. Get down. It would be so much more effective if I knew the lyrics.
Yeah, and it's okay. We know what you mean.
Now I don't know where. Okay. But yes, anything else on your mind?
Let's see. Omegaverse, gender norms. Already talked about that. I just think it's stupid to have straight Omegaverse. Omegaverse has to be somewhat gay because, like, if you just have straight Omegaverse and then you apply the exact same gender norms to straight Omegaverse, then that's just oppressing women.
Oh, actually, I've never seen. I'm sure it exists, but I've never seen female alpha, male omega, Omegaverse.
I want to see that because that's just
Yeah.
pegging,
No, pegging is when it's not a real penis,
not a real ding dong.
not a real ding dong. I think.
Okay, that's
Is that
yeah.
is
I
that
want to see that.
transphobic of me? Okay.
I don't know,
But
but yeah, I
yes,
want to see that. I want to see that female alpha, male
female alpha, male
omega.
omega. It
That's
should
the only
exist. I feel like it
that's
should
the only
exist.
straight Omegaverse I will allow. Other than that, it's all disgusting because all you really want to do is be like, let's oppress women even more than in real life, and then like have no social commentary on it.
Yeah, you're not changing anything. You're just writing like a hetero fantasy.
Oh, a damsel in distress. Oh, I've never been non-con this way ever before. Everyone is
Here we
only
go
non-con
again.
me in every other ways.
All my friends have been non-con before, but I have. Okay.
I wish I was non-conned on a train.
Yeah, the women only train. Wait, can you hold down the fort? I'm gonna grab water.
Okay. Anyway. But it's gonna be so fun. Like all of that, all of that good alpha women stuff. I also don't see a lot of like women, like lesbian stuff from Megaverse. There should be more of them, honestly. There's like very little of them. I think it's because like for a women situation to work in an Omegaverse, because Omegaverse also like there's a big implication on one of them getting pregnant all the time because everyone that writes and reads Omegaverse kind of have a breeding kink. So like that's why it's always kind of implied that they somehow make baby later on.
What?
Oh, I was talking about how like when
Everyone has a breeding
almost
kink?
yeah, like so that's why you don't I guess that's kind of why you don't really see a lot of lesbian Omegaverse fics because
Oh.
a lot of people don't really want to give women penises, and which I think is a cowardly move of them. Like women can have penis, why not?
But that's the thing. Like women with penises, like it happens a lot. It's just not Omegaverse.
Yeah, right. But you like, why don't we see it more in Omegaverse when like it's clearly something that Omegaverse was made for?
Hmm.
Also, if we go back to like, you remember how I said you can kind of make the case that all like if you relate it back to the real world, all Omega men are trans men.
Yeah,
All
then female
all
alphas would be
Omegaverse, yeah, female alphas would be,
trans women.
uh, yes, and they're always seen as women and they're always seen as men. It's just like the ideal world, isn't it?
Yes.
Anyways,
But I think
yeah,
with
give women dicks and make more lesbian fics. I want to
uh
see it.
I feel like actually never mind.
I should stop eating chocolate. It's gonna fuck up my system and I'll get more pimples. But like chocolate's so good.
How much chocolate did you have and how much is left?
I've had half a thing of chocolate.
Half of what is a thing? A bar?
50 grams. 50 grams of chocolate.
50 grams of 100 gram bar?
Yeah,
Okay.
quite a lot.
I don't know what grams are. I'm an American. Oh, my OBS just glitched out. I don't think it shows on stream.
250 grams is about the weight of a steak. So, like half a steak and half a steak.
Yeah, I looked up just like images of 50 grams to sort of get an idea. It's like it's like 50 grams of carbs is 3 pieces of white bread.
Yeah, but 50 grams of chocolate is quite dense.
Yep.
I've been eating all morning. My fasting is so fucked. Now I'm like, diet. I want to see,
I thought you were doing
what do you call it?
intermittent though, where it's like it's okay if you eat within the period of
No,
time.
you idiot. Intermittent fasting, you still need to eat in meals, and you can't eat between the meals, even if it's in your like.
What?
Oh
The
my god,
one
this is
I
why your intermittent fasting is doing wrong.
the one I heard was like as long as you just eat within the
No,
time.
you still have to eat in meals, and there's no snack in between.
Uh, but that's not how my mom says it.
Oh, your mom's wrong.
And I know my mom is always factually correct.
Your mom can fight my mom. Mom off.
Mom off. Oh god, no. Kadon,
I
kadon.
have a feeling my mom is more aggressive.
Um, yes. Nick. Okay, sorry.
Oh, what's with Nick?
I was just
What's Nick
reading
doing?
what Nick was saying in the main channel. Haha. Haha.
Oh, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What
What
else?
else? What else? Maybe maybe female omega, female alpha fix stories aren't common because there's a penis involved.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I feel like if I was a lesbian, if I was a lesbian, I say like I'm not one, and then I drink, and then I wanted to read like a lesbian story, like I wouldn't want to find a, a penis in there. Even though like women can have penises, and obviously if you like someone, like it's different when you're dating, right? But if you come from for like no penis action, I feel hello, what are you doing?
Like,
The green screen's cutting out the green.
oh no.
A
How do
little
I throw
bit.
this out? Oh
Drag it
no,
to the
I
corner.
accidentally pinned it to my thing. Ah!
Miko, please. Okay, there you go. Yikes. But yeah. But it would be cool to find a female alpha, male omega. Why are you why? 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 Miko, the 3-eared dog. They're like a cyclops, but no, not really. Miko, the 1-eared dog. The cyclops dog.
What do you mean 1 year? That was like exactly 3 years.
Remember the dog that had like a little tail growing out of its forehead? And then there was
What?
like a bunch of people who wanted to adopt it. There's a dog that had like a little tail growing out of his forehead, and people were like, "Oh my god, it's so cute! I want that unique dog."
No.
Now you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I got a new like cream serum thing for my acne yesterday, and then I woke up today with more acne, and I'm like,
Oh
I thought you were
no.
supposed to fix things.
Oh no. I thought you had a system that was working.
No, nothing is working anymore.
Nothing is working.
Eating chocolate, which doesn't help.
Maybe that's why. It's not actually the skin cream, it's just because you're eating chocolate.
Yeah, that sucks. Anyways, eat some more chocolate.
Hmm. Omegaverse. I feel like it'd be kind of weird to see it mainstream, even though it'd be something cool. But if I had to go to like the latest romance movie in theaters with my mom and it was Omegaverse, hmm, makes me feel some type of way. Maybe you need to gatekeep Omegaverse.
I mean, I don't want to explain Omegaverse to my mom. She can barely handle gay fiction. Like mom's like, oh my god, what book are you buying? And I'm like, Danne, and just like get it away from me.
Mom, don't you
Just
know
like
Danmei is like trendy? Yeah.
because mom likes Chinese fiction too, but like historical Chinese romance and stuff. I would buy something like this story is so fun, mom. Like scum villain, so good. And just like what genre is it? And I'm like Danmei, and just like fuck off.
Did your
It's like
mom watch the TV
yeah.
show and was like, what good homies they are?
Because mom's like, they can go be gay somewhere else. Like, I don't understand the gay. How can you have two male leads?
How
And
can
I'm
you
like,
have two male leads? Oh my god. Ma, no.
but Ma's an ally, but she just doesn't want to see it. She says the gay fiction is not for her. It's okay if they do it in another book, just not in my book.
Why do you have to be we're so in your face about it?
Nah. She's like more normal about gay people in real life than she is about gay people in fiction. Like I don't understand how
Oh.
that works. Cause
Why
she's
do they
like, oh
need
yeah,
stories?
they're gay. Like
Yeah.
gay in real life, just like yeah, whatever. It's cool. They can like kind of sucks they can't marry, but like it's whatever, you know. And then gay in fiction, just like no, why are they gay?
Don't understand that disconnect.
She's so chill with real life gays, and then fiction gays, she goes, why are they gay?
I guess it's the question of like people are like, why do you like BL when you can just read the same story with like a man and a woman?
Because man woman story sucks ass.
Yes,
Give me a
exactly.
man woman story that's actually good. Where the female lead actually gets like proper character development. I only see character regresses for female lead development. Like she'll start out like if you have a female lead that starts out really cool, she'll somehow become feminized and become like a cute damsel in distress by the end of the story, or like somewhere midway through, she'll become like super soft. She starts growing her hair out more, becoming more interested in accessory, and I'm like,
Yeah, because she's
good for her.
changed after meeting her man's.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
man's
she's
made her more
changed.
feminine. Ew.
She's more in touch with her femininity now.
Oh wow.
So gross. Like lipstick lesbians go off. Okay, like lipstick
Yes.
girlies they
Love
go off,
lipstick.
but
Yes.
like we need more chapstick girly representation. I'm
Chapstick.
just saying.
I just like I'm sure like there are nice hetero romance stories. It's just I don't like the way they write women. Partially because of
This,
like what you said, Miko, with like the the character regression, but also because it just feels like I don't know, it just don't feel right. Like
I
women
stopped
aren't
reading
like this.
hetero manga just because of that. I used to read them a lot, but then they all just kind of
They all
started being the
fell.
same.
Can't go back after you've read better.
A lot of Korean webtoons also have that, but like I do see some differences where like the women have more agency. So I really like those.
Mhm.
But the problem with some of the Korean webtoons where the women have a lot of agency is that the man becomes more of a decoration, and you go, why does this have to be a romance story? This can just be about her entrepreneur, girl boss business. We don't need romance in her life.
Why does she need the man's? Make it make sense.
Like, I think like a good story that does that, but like the male lead becomes very useless as I'll be in a matriarch in this life. I think that's the story title. I don't. I think it's on Tapastic. Yeah, Tapastic should have
Oh
the
wow.
translations for it.
Yeah.
No, they don't go by Tapastic anymore. They go by Tapas or something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Tapas,
But
like
yeah,
the food.
yeah. uh, I'll be a matriarch in this life. She girl boss so hard. She literally does not like the male lead does jack shit. So you go like, what's the point of like the budding romance? That's very one sided currently. And it's not hers on her side, it's on the male lead side because he falls first and he falls hard.
uh,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I
I want to see more fiction in general where it's just like a woman living her life or a girl living her life that she needs no man or no woman in her life. Like single and super happy, childless, child free.
well that's
Just
yeah.
just entrepreneur, girl bossing at 30. She's got a good group of friends.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate that girl.
Damn, she hates it when women are succeeding in their careers.
No, I don't like how I don't like it if it's like too unrealistic. Like she can't be so girl bossy. Can you not do that?
She's in touch with her femininity and just girl
Not in touch
bossing.
with her femininity. Just like not like oh yeah, I'm perfect all around. It's too much. I can't do that.
It's all fiction.
Fiction it's fiction, but like if it's fiction, shouldn't it be like, you know,
No, like what if just just regular like just regular
I'm just a
Barbie,
normal
you
girl
know?
with a normal life.
Yeah, just regular Barbieing, but she has no child and she has no need for a relationship. What is the plot of this story, you ask? No, there's no plot. It's a slice of life. She she lives with her pet Roomba.
With her pet Roomba. Hmm. A pet Roomba. Oh my god.
There's a corporate girl boss.
She doesn't need any man. She never gets depressed. She uh
Just living life.
she makes enough
Ah,
money
the
to
dream.
DoorDash every day. She owns a cat.
That sits on her pet Roomba.
Yeah. Or her pet Roomba is a cat. It's just called Roomba.
She goes on a run at 6 a.m., drinks green juice.
Juice. She likes kombucha.
Ew.
She takes yoga classes and Pilates. Oh my god. And she goes hiking on the weekends.
She has remote work, so that's how she can do everything because her work is remote
No, no,
and
no. She
choose your
can't
own
she can't girl
hours.
bossy as a remote worker. She has to go into office wearing a pantsuit.
No,
No, she can't girl boss from home.
she can girl boss from home. It's the new normal.
If she girl bosses from home, then she's like she owns her own business.
She chooses her own hours. She drop ships stuff on Etsy.
Yeah, that's an alpha woman.
It's an alpha woman. A
Uh,
high value woman.
I value. Ew, no. God, I hate the term high value nowadays. Even though I don't think it existed before the incident.
The incident. But honestly, Omegaverse, like all piece of media, has its pros and cons. But like, if you focus too much on the cons, you'll just hate it, right? And if you focus too much on the pros, you're just
You'll just
living
love
in
it.
Delulu land.
Yeah.
You're living in Delulu land. But like, I just feel like it's personal preference at this point because anyone who wants to hate it can find any number of reasons to hate it, and anyone that loves it can find all number of reasons to love it. But honestly, can't you like something without reason?
That too, and also that it's like a big enough genre and there's enough variations of it that you can definitely find something that's Omegaverse and that you like. And yeah, it's like how Miko curates her Omegaverse somehow. I don't know what she's doing, but like you can sort out the stuff that you don't want to read.
Yeah, like how I don't really have non-con Omegaverse in my like pool of Omegaverse to pick because I only pick consensual Omegaverse.
Yeah, exactly. That's why tagging is important.
Yeah, tagging is so important. Oh, actually, someone made a book. They published an actual book, and on the first page, like on and the inside cover and stuff,
Mhm.
there are tags. They put
Oh my
tags on their
god.
book. And I'm like, holy shit, tags on a physical book? You're crazy. You're crazy. We should do more of that.
Yeah. Though not on the inside cover. Put it on the outside cover, like on the back of the book or something. Because
Oh, that'll be
sometimes,
so good.
yeah, sometimes they like seal the books so you can't open them in the bookstore. And it would hate to buy the book and then get home and then open it and be like, ah, this is not what I wanted to read. Yeah. Tagging. Make it happen. It's very important. I wish there was like a better tagging system for BL. Like, and I think it's getting like it's getting a little bit better. It's getting a bit more specific, but I would like it to be more specific.
Oh, I want to see more of this actually in Omegaverse. Instead of like normal pregnancy, let's normalize egg preg.
That's for you.
Come on, let's normalize egg preg.
Or you know how like male omegas we have no idea how the anatomy works, or there probably is a person who's figuring out how the anatomy works, but it doesn't really matter. But like because male omegas uh in this version don't have like a female womb, right? Instead of having a live birth, they just lay an egg. But the
Dude,
females give live birth.
dude, I'm telling you, cloacas.
Cloacas?
Yeah, it's how chickens give birth. Cloacas.
Oh, okay. I did not know.
Because because chickens don't have vaginas, they only have a butt. So
Yeah.
their everything connects to their butt. Cloaca. Male omegas have cloacas instead of buttholes.
This cloaca anatomy literally shows a vagina, though. What am I looking at?
Yeah, what are you looking at?
I just looked up cloaca, and they didn't give me a chicken right away. It looked like just like a female anatomy, but there's no cloaca labeled.
Just look up chicken anatomy. The oviduct and the intestine are both connected to the cloaca.
The okay, hold on. Cloaca, yes, cloaca chicken. We're getting sciencey. All right. Chicken sex. I just see like a hole. Is that like do they Do they poop from the cloaca?
Yeah, they poop from the cloaca too.
Oh, okay. Wait, then yeah. Males just lay eggs. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh. They
Or
don't
like all Omegaverse males. Like they have a higher chance of dying at childbirth, so they C-section. I don't know.
That's true, I have heard that. But that would mean that they have a womb.
They should.
They should. But if they have a cloaca, then they shouldn't have a womb.
So you can fit so much inside the male body.
Oh my god.
It's fiction. Don't think too hard.
Don't think exactly. Like Omegaverse is odd only when you start digging into the sciences behind it, the bio stuff. But you don't need to.
It
That's not part of the story.
also like someone was talking about standardizing the cock sizes and oh I said cock whoops the penis sizes
Uh-huh.
in
Yeah.
Omegaverse.
Yeah.
And the size of the knot, like there are like I think at the end, in like the author's note of every fanfic, there should be a size reference so they can
It's
imagine it easier.
like they type like a bunch of dashes on their keyboard.
No, you idiot! Like the circumference.
Oh, what? It's circumference. Okay. Size reference. Wait. Okay.
Or like the diameter or and stuff of the penis.
Like
Like
length, width, and height.
yeah, just length and girth. So the girth is the circumference or the diameter.
Yeah, yes, geometry.
Yeah. Because the length is usually like that's nothing too crazy. Wait, mom's calling.
It's how dare you leave me with this topic of conversation? Ugh. Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. Like a 12-inch monster. Okay. I I don't know. I don't read enough where they go into details about the size of a person's ding dong. It's usually it's just like oh man, it was so big or something like that, and I'm like okay, it was so big. Like it doesn't say numbers, but
We should normalize saying numbers.
no, it's weird. It's weird to stop in the middle of porn and be like, okay, let's take out the tape measure for a sec.
No, so you should know exactly how wrecked the bottom is.
Uh, isn't it enough to just say it was like large and then say that the bottom was wrecked and be like,
Nah,
oh okay,
nah.
okay, all right,
Because like if we have knots involved, right? The knots have to be a certain size for it to really actually knot.
sure. What?
For it to actually get stuck inside,
Oh, like it
it
has
has
to.
to be a certain size. And like for it to actually like be take some effort to put in, it has to be a certain size. But the question is, how big is that size?
Well, that depends, right?
Yeah, that's and there's no standardization in Omegaverse. That's why they should just write it down the diameter of stuff in the author's notes.
But that's not. It's not needed. Like, why do you need the
It's a little
measurements?
treat.
You're gonna
It's a
remake it
little treat.
yourself? It's a little treat. Like they give you the measurements, like if DIY at home.
Did you know that there are like dildos that are like molded after people's dicks? Actual dicks.
Yes, I do know that actually.
Yeah. What if that, but like fan fiction
And here's
Omegaverse
a 3D
fix.
printable model for you to try out at home.
Can you 3D print silicon?
No. Wait, can you?
You can mold it, carve it out, and mold it.
Yeah, I was thinking you'd print the thing and then like mold it somehow. You make a mold out of the thing. But
You resin print it, and then you make a mold out of that resin print and pour silicon in it.
3D print. Oh, my computer scaring me. Okay. Silicone. Can you 3D print silicone?
I don't think so. Because it doesn't cure the same way resin does, so you can't really
Yeah,
3D
it
print
just said
silicon.
that. Oh wait, there are advancements that will make it work, but I'm sure it's more expensive and harder. But you can. It does exist. So yeah.
Also, I'm learning that I move a lot during our streams because, like, your character is relatively still, but mine shifts from side to side a lot.
I thump my leg more than I move my upper body.
I just swing my entire share.
Oh yeah, I remember I used to do that and then I watched a VOD back and I was like, that looks so odd. I'm gonna train myself to stop. Oh man. Okay. Um, anything else?
Nah, not really. Just the usual, you know. I want to see more lesbian Omegaverse.
Yes.
Make it happen.
I I would just like to see more women in general. Not in general. Uh,
I'd like a sugar mommy.
uh
Got me that for Christmas, Santa.
Santa has his work cut out for him. That's gonna be hard.
Santa's like, okay, can't do that. What about like a new iPad pen, a new
You
Apple
Apple
Pencil?
Pencil.
Not even the entire Apple Pencil, just the tip,
Just a tip.
just the nib,
Just a
just the
tip.
Apple Pencil nibs.
Oh right. Just a tip reminded me. When you were talking about nodding and you were saying
Just
that
the tip.
you were saying that like it had to be like a certain size in order for it to be stuck. Isn't the human anus able to expand to like a very large size?
Yeah, like 15 centimeters max.
Yeah, so does it not have to be 16 centimeters? Hello?
Ha.
Hello?
Ha.
You said that like it had to be stuck in somehow, right? But if it's less than 15 centimeters, you could technically squeeze it out.
I mean, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt, yeah. But
Yeah. On to the next question.
well, okay.
I said 15 centimeters max. It's like 6 inches.
15 centimeters is 6 inches?
Yeah. Yeah.
How big human anus? Oh wait, no. How big human anus expand? 7 inches.
L7. Yeah, it's like 15 centimeters.
Okay, yes, because
And
that
like raccoons
implements.
can squeeze
Yeah.
into very tiny spaces, so they can squeeze up your anus probably.
Oh, this is from
Scary.
Sweet Anita. What? The tweet that was connected to the 7 inches. Today I learned that the human anus can stretch up to 7 inches before being damaged. A raccoon can fit into a space less than 4 inches wide. If there is a god, why does my aspirin get stuck in my throat when I could potentially swallow almost two whole raccoons with my ass? Vice, how much can I fit up my ass? This is why I never share my search history.
I stopped caring about my search history. If God exists, no one will find it. But God doesn't exist, and I know it will leak one day, so it's okay.
It will leak one day. Who the fuck is leaking?
Yes, you are. You leaking?
No, that's not what I meant. Oh my god. This week, a Canadian named Lester Lawrence was sentenced to 30 months in prison for stealing more than $165,000 in gold pucks from the mint where he worked. Based on circumstantial evidence like Vaseline and latex gloves in his locker, it seems that Lawrence managed to evade the metal detectors by putting the pucks inside his rectum. According to Judge Duty, can't make this stuff up. I like how the name of the judge was Duty.
Oh, I actually found out a way to better steal from supermarkets and clothing stores, but I'll tell you that out after stream.
What? Is it just shoving it up a butt?
No, no. It's like actually really easy and super smart, but also like it's kind of not kind of it is illegal, but it's be gay do crime illegal. So like I'll tell you after stream, but I don't want to be caught on stream saying it.
Okay.
I learned it all from the good sources of TikTok.
Oh, that will definitely be very
Yeah, it does.
informative and
It
correct
does
and
work though.
legal.
Yeah, it does
Okay.
work though.
Okay.
Like it does actually work.
Okay. Okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed.
Oh, but what I can talk on stream is that people accidentally steal from like the self checkouts aisle all the time without like accidentally stealing. So,
What?
uh,
Really?
you'll like forget something in your cart and then you'll just forget to scan it, because you're so tired. You usually go to grocery shopping at the end of the day after a work day or something, right? And then you'll forget to scan it and then you'll just walk out. And apparently so many people do that on accident that it's caused quite a huge loss for a lot of supermarkets, but they still will install self-checkouts because they'd rather lose that money than pay a cashier. I'm joking.
But don't grocery stores at least have like the metal detector, not metal detector, like the little detector that tells when you like walk past with an item that you didn't pay for, it'll go off?
I don't know.
I
There's
guess
a certain way to
hypothetically you could
bypass
steal
them.
from Costco since they don't have the detector thing, they just have a human, and they barely check through your receipt very thoroughly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't imagine stealing from like a Target or a Walmart that has those detectors. Because I remember I stood like too close to a detector in a Claire's once, and then like I accidentally moved one of the stuffed animals too close to it and it started yelling. So those things work.
Yeah, and I know how to bypass them now.
Oh my god. Illegal activity. No, we are law abiding citizens.
I'm be gay doing crime. I say that, but I'd never actually do crime because I'm too scared of like doing crime. I'm a pussy.
That reassures me. Okay, I was thinking of making a Q&A, anonymous Q&A board, like a marshmallow board
Oh.
for the podcast talk show thing.
But no one would write in.
You never know. I'll just ask my mom, in quotes, me to write something. But I'm torn between using marshmallow because there's no English version of marshmallow. At least I don't think so. Versus like something else, like a curious cat.
Curious cat is okay. I don't like it, but it's okay.
Is there any other one though? Do you know of?
Ass.
Ask? Ask
Yeah,
Reddit?
Ask FM.
Oh, Ask FM.
No one uses that anymore. Don't do it.
I don't know what this is. Or well, I've heard of it, but like not enough. No. Uh,
It's a relic of the past. Make a Tumblr blog.
make a Tumblr blog. I've always wanted to make a proper Tumblr blog, but never worked out. Tumblr's too confusing for me.
Okay, it's time to end. It's time to end. We're out of things to talk about, and we're going way off course.
I thought that was the format. It's like we stay on topic until we're off topic.
This is a terrible podcast. We should never do podcasts.
No, what are you talking about? Isn't it great? I think it's very realistic, the sort of conversation that we're having. How
It's
it
not
jumps.
a podcast, it's just two idiots talking to each other. Yeah.
That's why it's called whatever it's called.
Disgraced Dumbass Deep Dive.
Oh, okay, right. Disgraced. That's what it was. Disgraced Dumbass Deep Dive. Hey. Okay. I think we had honestly, I think this episode was more structured than the last one.
Yeah, it really goes to show what I value in life.
Yep, Omegaverse. And fanfiction.
I'm so passionate about Omegaverse.
Good. Someone needs to be. Alright. Okay. Well, next time we're gonna talk about controversial tropes. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problematic fanfics.
Fanfic. But it's not always fanfic though. Problematic
Fiction.
Problematic fiction. Oh, okay. Good title. Good title. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. That's it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. Thanks for lurking. Whatever it is. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.